Under a storm-ravaged sky, a human rescuer stumbles upon a glowing alien girl, wounded, terrified, and falling from the wreckage of her burning ship. As he catches her in his arms, their eyes lock, fear, trust, and something deeper sparking between them. But with predators closing in and the night growing colder, survival forces them closer than either imagined, one desperate choice at a time. The cavern smelled of iron and smoke, remnants of a battle fought too close to their fragile shelter. Water dripped from the jagged ceiling, echoing softly, as though counting the seconds they still had to live. The human sat with his back to the cold stone wall, breath heavy, eyes scanning the flickering shadows beyond the entrance where the dying fire threw faint light across the cavern floor. Beside him, the alien girl shifted slightly, her bare legs folded beneath her, smooth blue skin glistening faintly under the fire's glow. Her long black hair clung in damp strands around her face, a wild frame for eyes that shimmered teal like distant oceans, eyes full of fear and a desperate yearning for safety. Neither spoke at first. Survival had demanded silence all day. The outside world was broken, prowled by things that should never have existed, and here, just for now, they were hidden. Yet the stillness between them held more weight than the dangers outside. He could feel her closeness, the subtle warmth of her body radiating through the chilled cavern air, the faintest tremor in her breathing whenever her shoulder brushed his. She turned slightly, studying him, and he saw the flicker of conflict in her eyes, something unspoken, caught between gratitude and sorrow. A thin cut trailed along her collarbone, glinting under the firelight. He had treated it earlier with trembling hands, wrapping a torn strip of cloth around the wound while she silently endured the sting. Now his gaze lingered, just long enough for her to notice. "You should rest," he whispered, voice low, almost hesitant. "You're still bleeding." Her lips parted as though to answer, but no sound came, only a faint exhale that trembled before she closed her mouth again. Her horns, curved and smooth like polished ivory, caught the light with every tilt of her head, casting gentle arcs of shadow on the wall. She looked fragile here, not like the fierce warrior he imagined she might have been before the world burned. And yet, beneath that fragility, something stronger remained, an ember refusing to die. The wind outside howled through cracks in the rock, carrying with it the faint metallic scent of ash and rain. He reached for his pack, pulling out the last strip of dried meat. He had meant to save it for morning, but when she turned her gaze toward it, eyes wide, hesitant, almost pleading, he tore it in half without a word and placed the piece gently in her hand. Her fingers brushed his palm, soft yet trembling, sending a faint chill up his arm. She drew back quickly, clutching the food as though afraid she might lose it, but before eating she looked back to him. Something unspoken passed between them then, an acknowledgement that this single act of kindness meant more than words. "You didn't have to," she murmured finally, voice soft as drifting smoke. He gave a small, weary smile. "Neither did you, when you dragged me out of that wreck." Her gaze fell to the fire, lashes lowering like closing curtains. "I couldn't leave you there," she said, almost to herself. "Not when everyone else already has." The words hung heavy, echoing louder than the cavern's dripping water. He wanted to ask, about the everyone else, about what she had lost. But the look in her eyes warned him not to. Instead, he reached forward, brushing away a loose strand of her hair that had fallen across her face. The touch was light, almost hesitant, but she still shivered, a tiny intake of breath betraying her composure. Her teal eyes lifted, meeting his. For a long, suspended moment, neither moved. The fire popped softly, sending sparks toward the cavern roof like fragile stars. She looked at him as though searching for something she didn't believe existed anymore. Safety. Comfort. A reason to keep going. "You're shaking," he said quietly. "Are you cold?" "A little," she admitted. But there was more in her voice, something layered beneath the word, something she couldn't bring herself to say. Fear. Exhaustion. The ache of being alone too long. He shifted closer, enough that their shoulders touched fully now, warmth shared through proximity rather than words. She didn't pull away. Instead, she exhaled slowly, letting her body ease just slightly toward his. His heart hammered, not from desire, not even from fear, but from the weight of connection, raw and fragile, in a world where everything else had been stripped away. Outside, the storm grew harsher. Rain struck stone like distant drumming. Somewhere far off, a howl pierced the night, a reminder that the dark things hunting them still moved, still searched for the warmth of life. He knew they couldn't stay long. But for now, he let the danger stay outside. "Do you think tomorrow will be better?" she asked suddenly, her voice softer than the rain, as though speaking louder might break the moment. He hesitated, then nodded. If we make it through tonight, yes. Tomorrow will be better. She looked at him, searching his face for something, truth, hope, or maybe just reassurance that someone believed it. Then, almost imperceptibly, she leaned closer, resting her head lightly against his shoulder. Her hair, damp and cool, brushed his neck, and he felt her slow, shaky breath against his arm. They sat like that for a long time, two survivors clinging to a moment of warmth in a world gone cold. He wanted to speak, to tell her that they would find food, shelter, safety, but none of those promises could be made yet. All he could offer was the steady presence of his arm beneath her, the quiet assurance of not being alone. Her eyes grew heavier with each flicker of firelight, until finally they closed, lashes trembling as sleep fought to take her. He watched her carefully, listening to her breaths, uneven at first, then slower, calmer. Only then did he allow himself to rest his head lightly atop hers, feeling the faint warmth of her horn against his temple, the strange, soft pulse of her life through the closeness between them. Outside, the storm raged. But in the cavern, just for tonight, there was a fragile kind of peace. A bond born of pain, fear, and a desperate hope for something beyond survival. And as the fire burned low, they sat together, silent, close, alive, waiting for dawn to see if the world would give them another chance.